I'm with my dog Mina, and we are going to wild camp tonight on the south coast of Anglesey in the sand dunes. So last night in Wales it was -2 degrees. I'm okay being cold. I'm not okay being cold, but I'll suffer if it's my own fault, if I've built an insufficient shelter. But I'm not okay with my dog being cold, because I just can't have that. That's something that would make me not fulfill this whole task and walk in. And the other thing that would make me walk in is if somebody finds me. So I need to be a bit stealthy here. I'm not entirely sure around the rules of wild camping. The general consensus is set up late, leave early, leave no trace. It's pretty simple rules, and I've got loads of places to hide out here because I'm going to do it out in the dunes, as long as I get a nice view of the sea. So this is pretty much all of what I'm taking. I've got a base layer in here, both bottoms and top, a mid layer, my classic flannel, and then a thick down jacket, poncho, which is not the biggest poncho, but it's just a one-man jack poncho with the hood sealed up. I've got my sleeping system, which is a jungle sleeping bag and a bivvy bag. So I'm not taking a roll mat. I'm going to try and build a bit of a bed to sleep on that's going to keep me warm, as opposed to just sleeping straight onto the floor. So if I don't have to carry it, then I'm not going to. I'm going as minimal as I possibly can. The tent pegs were definitely something that I didn't want to skimp on. One meal, makeshift super noodles, one dog food, one basic cooking system. I've got a treat, if all goes well, that I'm going to cook on the back of the Land Rover. And Mina's got some sardines for breakfast. I'm going to break this down into 4 parts. Part 1 will be choosing the ground. Part 2 will be making a good area to lay on, be where I'll lose most of my heat. So I want to try and elevate myself off the ground. And once I've done that, part 3, laying my shelter over the top of where I've made my bed. Part 4 and the final part will be insulating the shelter. So I'm going to try and pack sand around the edge of it and then make it so that I can just seal it. This is the plan anyway, that I want my shelter to act like a little hot box with me and Mina in it, where our body heat will warm it up. It's going to be really tight in there, not a lot of room, so that should keep us nice and warm. In theory, that's the plan. This is going to add to the difficulty of keeping warm because I've packed very light. Quite easy to get disorientated in the dunes because you're so low down and everything just looks the same. Well, I'm pretty much heading straight for the sun, which is south, because I know that's where the coast is going to be, and that's where I want to pitch up and have a good view of the sea. So can't really go wrong, but it doesn't take much. You start losing your bearings if it was a cloudy day. So it's a bit further than I thought it was going to be, but the good news is it means it's a lot less likely that anyone's going to stumble across me if I'm pitched up somewhere. I'm hoping that there's going to be somewhere with a bit more cover, because the grass around here is a bit thin, a bit low, and it's not as sandy as I was expecting, but a lot can change in a few hundred metres. Well, as the dunes come to a close, it's a strikingly beautiful place, and I'm considering myself quite lucky to be spending the night here, even with the threat of being extremely cold. This looks like a fairly good spot. I'm just going to ditch my kit here. I'm looking out this little dip in the ground, and I think I'll scrape most of the rough stuff out so that I've got sand, pack it with some dead wood, and then put sand over the top to try and create a bit of a mattress, because I'm going to lose most of my heat through the ground and I really don't want to be cold tonight. I'm already sweating because it's like nearly 20 degrees today, which is a bit odd for Wales. So my theory with this is, if I put them in and bury them sufficiently, then they should create little air pockets and make the ground easier to warm up. That's my theory. I'm not sure if that is actually going to work though. Now I know what you're thinking, it's going to be very uncomfortable, but remains to be seen, and I will let you know tonight. I'm just going to throw some of this grass in and then bury it, just so that everything that I'm laying on has got more air in it. And if it's got more air, it will hold more heat. That's my theory anyway. The layers are working quite well. I'm hoping I don't feel the sticks and dead wood underneath, and that this ground is going to heat up nicely and then stay warm through the night. Next up is this poncho. So what I'm thinking with this is dig out 4 nice solid fixing points. The ground's really soft, so I'm going to need to dig down. Stop eating grass. I'm going to need to dig down to get these in securely, because I really don't want that coming off overnight. I don't think it will, because the weather's supposed to be good, but I don't want to take that risk. Mina, kid, come on. Not on this. So what my thoughts are, I'm going to weigh the far side down with sand. I might struggle closing this side down, but all in all I think this might work okay. Little bit tight, but it's going to do a job. Doesn't feel like I've got any lumps or bumps underneath me, so I think we're good. Right, I'm going to get my sleeping bag out and put it in here, ready for me to get into, and then I'm going to get changed into some warmer clothing and make my dinner. I pushed up to this little opening just so that I don't end up setting the place on fire while I'm using my pocket rocket. Got changed into my warm kit, thermals, my burnt orange flannel, which if you're not aware, we're a flannel shirt company and you can go and check them out on the website. These are really warm, so they're a great mid layer. They look amazing while they're out in this sort of environment. And I've got a bit of a confession to make. I forgot Mina's warm kit. Mina did have a jacket which I forgot, so she's now going to be taking my down jacket, because I've got thermals and this is going to be pretty warm, so she's going to take my down jacket, and before we go to bed I'm going to wrap her up in it, and she's using it at the minute as a bit of a roll mat. People exercising, horses out on the beach. That's officially sundown, or it's about to be, and I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to get in it because I'm very conscious that the temperature's dropping already. Don't want it to get any colder, and not make the most of this time to warm the sleeping bag up before it gets really cold tonight. Now we're going to try and get a bit of sleep. Turns out it's very tight in here. See you in the morning. It's not really comfortable, but it's 5:30. That went surprisingly alright. I've definitely had a worse night's sleep. Mina didn't shiver at all. The only problem was it was very tight. Like really tight in the sleeping bag with both of us. So there wasn't a lot of room to move around. So I was pinned on my left hand side. And given that it's 5:30, we're coming up to 12 hours. I got in there at about 6. So that's 12 hours laid on one side. So I'm feeling a little bit numb. Just feeling the ground that I've been laid on. And it is so nice and warm. So I think that my makeshift mattress has done its job. I definitely feel like I've earned my treat back at the Land Rover, so I'm now going to prioritise getting back there ASAP and getting that cooked because I'm hungry. Well, all packed up, and you can see how quickly it gets light. Pretty much. Red skies over there. Still got the moon up to the south. Looking massive. That you can't tell on camera, but the moon is huge. It's times like this that really make me not want to sell the Land Rover. Really got to go anywhere feel to it, but it has got to go. And here's a teaser of what I'm moving on to. And it couldn't be any further from what this vehicle is. And it's not strictly road legal. Not road legal yet. So if you do want to see what happens with that vehicle and how I go about getting rid of this one, then make sure you subscribe, and that way the YouTube algorithms will make sure you see my next video, which is going to be on this. Haven't forgotten, steak was my treat. I'm cooking my steak on the back of the tailgate, which is something that you can't do on a Ford Mondeo or a Ford Focus. I don't think they sell Mondeos anymore, do they?